hiking up a mountain called Fool Creek Peak. It's just under 10,000 feet. It's like 9,600 something, I think. And I hadn't planned on hiking up this mountain on this trip, but I had planned on fishing the creek that runs through this canyon. And then as I looked on the map yesterday, hold on, got another little stream crossing here. Looking at the map yesterday, I realized that the mountain was pretty close and my schedule is flexible, so I thought, what the heck, let's hike up that mountain. Also, one unfortunate thing that happened yesterday was that I broke my little mini tripod that I hike with, that I mostly film with. And so right now I'm lugging around this enormous, regular-sized, heavy tripod. This is what I'm using today, and probably for the rest of the trip. Just gotta make do with what you've got. There was a fire that came through this area not too long ago. I don't know when it was, but all the trees are still burned and dead. Been hiking for about an hour and a half. Decided to stop here and take a rest for a little bit. Definitely gaining in elevation. I'm heading toward that ridge that you can see behind me up here. Once I get to that ridge, I can then head that way on the ridge, and that'll lead me directly to the top of the mountain that I'm looking for. I can't see the mountain yet, but here's a look at some of the mountains across the way. This is the canyon that I came up. I've had to make like a dozen stream crossings to get up here, but feet are still dry, and I've left the stream down there, so I think just snow is the only thing left I have to deal with. I haven't gotten into any snow now, but I see some on the ridge kind of across from me, and I'm sure I'll hit some once I get higher on the ridge behind me. Got my first good look at the summit of the mountain, at the top of the mountain. This is it right here. And amazingly, there's not a ton of snow up there. It's mostly free of snow. I think I can avoid basically all of it except for this little part right here that I might have to cross. Feels good to be on top. It took 3.5 hours. It was about 4 miles with about 3,000 feet of elevation gain. There's a little summit register here in an ammo can. And I'm the second person to climb it this year. The second person to climb it in 2019. The first was like 4 days ago. So pretty early season ascent of this mountain. I'm thankful that it's not crazy windy, because I feel like every time I'm on top of a mountain it's just crazy windy. It's not freezing, it's just a nice place to be. This thing behind me, you see these a lot on peaks in the west. I believe it's a triangulation tower that they use to sight on, and then they could figure out the height of other peaks using this one as kind of a reference. Not ideal weather as far as clouds go. Like, it's raining over here, it's probably raining in a couple other spots around me, but hasn't rained on me yet today, and there's no thunder, no lightning. It's actually a really nice day to be out hiking, not roasting in the sun. This is the way that I came up. I don't know if you can see the road down here, but I came up this canyon up to here and then up. There's a nice drop off on the one side of the peak here. Nice cliffs. Let me see if I can show it to you without falling off. At least 200 or 300 feet, I'd say. I'm gonna sit down, relax, have a snack, then I'll hit the trail again. And then I guess I'll see you guys once I get back to the car in a couple of more hours. Well, I'm back at the car. Took 2 hours. It was tiring. I'm tired. I ended up crossing streams 14 times, and I'm happy to be back in the car and happy to be sitting. It's 2:30 now. Got a good chunk of the day left. I'm gonna go into town, into I think Delta, which is the biggest town in this area, and try to get a burger or something. I'd like some nice fatty food. Fatty, salty food sounds really good right now, so I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll head back out into the desert west of Delta and set myself up for a hike that I'm gonna do tomorrow. There is one thing I want to see en route to the start of that next hike, and so I guess I'll just show you that when I get there. You don't need to see the driving or me eating a burger, so I'll see you in probably like an hour, hour and a half-ish. Alrighty, after a quick stop in town for some gas and some food and calling my wife, we are back out in the desert, and there's not a whole lot at this spot to see, but I wanted to show it to you anyway. So this is the Gunnisson Massacre site. I think at some point there was probably a plaque here. It looks like there was one here, but there's nothing here anymore. Good thing I read about it online and can tell you about it. So this marks the spot where John Gunnisson and several of his men were killed by Native Americans. John Gunnisson was an American military man and explorer, and if you've heard of the Gunnison River in Colorado, which gives its name to Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, that's this guy. There are also a couple of towns named after him, and like I said, the river, and he and a group of men were out here scouting a route for the railroad in the 18-somethings. I don't remember. I guess it says right here, 1853. Yeah, they were attacked by a band of Native Americans, and I think John Gunnisson and 6 of his group were killed. Lonely place to die. Again, there's not much to see here. This is just at the end of a road. There's a memorial with a cross, and then this I-beam here. It says Gunnisson Massacre Site, October 26, 1853. More info, Great Basin Museum, Delta, Utah. Off in the distance here we can see Fool Creek Peak. I think this is it. This is the mountain I climbed this morning. It's the highest in that range, that mountain range. Then to the north, over here, it's called Mount Nebo. That's the highest mountain in the Wasatch Range, which is the range that parallels Salt Lake City. It's just under 12,000 feet. And then over, let's see, over here is Pavant Butte, or Pavant Butte. I have a video of me climbing that on my last trip. Those are all to the east of me, and then over to the west, where I'm headed to right now, is this mountain called Notch Peak, for obvious reasons. The interesting thing about Notch Peak is that its west face is the second highest cliff in the United States. Just a massive, massive cliff. And it's probably the most famous mountain in the West Desert in this part of Utah. I've never hiked up it, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow, and right now I'm gonna drive to the area around the trailhead, and that's where I'm gonna look for a camp for tonight. So let's head on over there. So Notch Peak is over on the left here. You can see the notch. But I think I'm gonna go try to find a campsite in this canyon straight ahead. It looks more interesting. And then in the morning I can go drive to the trailhead that's over here. So I've been driving into this canyon here. This is the way I came, and the road is a bit stream-ish right now, which hasn't been too much of a problem. Cool sides of the canyon, but it is a problem here. I don't know. I mean, I could just like straddle this with my car, but it's not worth it. I'm gonna turn back and go find a campsite somewhere else. I've had a couple spots like this that I've had to go through, and I'm guessing it'll just get worse as I go further into the canyon. So let's head back out and find somewhere else to camp. So right after I said that, and as I was driving back down the canyon, out of the canyon, I saw a little side road. Decided to follow it to see if it led to any campsites, and sure enough, it did. Here's our home for the night. Very cool cliffs in this canyon. There's a little fire ring here, but it's too windy and there's really not very much wood around, so I'm not gonna have a fire tonight. I'm gonna set the drone up to get some aerial footage of this place. And I guess I'll sign off. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what your favorite part was. And be sure to come back for the next video. This is gonna be a really great hike tomorrow. I don't know if I've really crystallized what exactly this trip is about, but this trip is basically a desert mountain climbing trip. And so you can expect about a mountain a day. I did one yesterday, did one today, one tomorrow. I think I'll do a couple the day after that. And some other interesting things will be thrown in between there. So here's the drone footage, and thanks again for watching.